Welcome to Spotlight on Chabot. My name is Catherine Pincus and I'm an instructor in the Business and Technology Division. And today I have with me a special guest, Jack Papazian, who is the Information Technology Officer or Director? Manager for Safeway. And he is a graduate of Chabot College. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you, Catherine. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Jack has served on our advisory board for the business division in the last couple of years, and the reason he's done that is because he's on the front line in the retail business world and can be very helpful in explaining to our students what kind of work is needed in order to have a successful retail career. And Jack, I think you started right at the beginning with Safeway even before you got to Chabot College.
Only by a couple of months, but yes, that's true.
And were you bagging? Is that what you were doing?
I was bagging groceries right out of high school.
Right out of high school. Good. So why don't you tell us you're still at Safeway today, which is how many years?
44 years.
44 years. So I think what would be very interesting for us to know is a little bit about how you went from bagger to information technology manager.
Sure. Started bagging groceries and attending college, and working in a grocery store was a wonderful part-time job to have while going to college. But Chabot helped me with Safeway, and Safeway helped me at Chabot. I found the connection to be terrific. Working while going to school, especially in a business environment, helped me with all the business classes. I was able to relate what was being taught in the classroom to what I was seeing in the business
So
world.
You were applying what you actually learned here.
Absolutely.
Okay. What kind of classes were the most helpful to you?
Well, I'd like to say all of them, but I don't know. All of the business classes, the marketing.
Now, one of the things that you've said to me and to the Business Advisory Board is that soft skills and business management were things that were terribly important for students to know about. So can you relate that to us and how that's important for a student in their career?
Yes. The students should not only focus on the business classes, things that will relate exactly to what they're interested in. But in today's workplace, the soft skills are every bit as important as the technical skills. We hire people in information technology, and we found that an employee with good soft skills, people that can get along with others, they know how to collaborate, how to present themselves. It's every bit as important as the technical skills. You can teach somebody the technical skills. It's very difficult to teach those soft skills. So I would encourage young people to really focus on those soft skills.
So courses in business communications, would those be helpful in that
Absolutely.
regard?
Absolutely. Presentation skills.
Presentation skills. So when you say presentation, you mean both the ability to speak and the ability to create PowerPoint slides and other vehicles that would help explain what they're talking about?
Yes. But
Okay.
especially their oral communication skills.
Okay. And getting along with people. What are the challenges from your perspective in the business environment, and what would be helpful for students to learn?
In today's business world, it's very important to be able to collaborate with your co-workers. There are not silos anymore. There's teams, and we hear about that all the time, about working in teams. And it's been proven that teams are more powerful than the individual. Well, it's only so if the individual can get along with their teammates, and they know how to collaborate, how to share information, how to get along.
And then and any group of people that has to get along and has to communicate, they have to be able to negotiate with each other. Isn't that true?
That's true.
In order to be able to come to a conclusion or make a decision about work. I know one of the things that we teach here is negotiating. So that's an important aspect. So team building, teamwork, negotiating, communicating, both verbally and then, of course, email skills I'm sure are important.
Of course. Of course, all your computer skills today.
Okay.
People are just expected to have good computer skills when they go to the workplace.
And then, is diversity important, diversity training?
Yes. Again, in today's business world, you're going to be working with people that are different from you. And you have to embrace that and be prepared for that.
So meeting people of different cultures, the wonderful thing about Chabot College is we're a very diverse college. And in any class, I have people, sometimes their families come from at least 15 different countries, and some of them are first-generation immigrants. So I think one of the things that we do in the business division is we have people work in teams. They work collaboratively. Some of you may have already done that in your classes. And I want to make a direct link between that and what Jack is talking about as being so very, very important as a skill in the business world. So Jack, starting as a bagger, you had to talk to customers. What was your next job?
I became a checker.
Okay.
And then a stalker. And still going to school. When I graduated here, I went to Cal State Hayward. Of course, that's now Cal State East Bay.
Yes.
And continued to work in Safeway. Safeway was kind enough to pay for my tuition and books until I graduated. But working in a business climate and going to school was very beneficial. When I had to do term papers, I could relate it to directly what was going on in the business environment.
I understand.
So then I became an assistant manager, many years as an assistant manager, then became a store manager, managed many stores in the East Bay, South Bay. Then I became a district manager for many years. Then I was in the right place at the right time, and I became a trainer. I worked in our human resources department as a trainer, and then went to information technology. And since I've been in that department over the last 8 years, I've been a business analyst, a project manager, back to HR as a training development manager. Now I'm what's called our field services manager. So I'm responsible for all of the computer and electronic equipment in 274 Northern California Safeway stores.
So I think the students heard some key words here. We have human resources training and classes at Chabot College, and in fact next spring we'll have the first project management class at Chabot College. So as you listen to this, you might think of several things. First of all, how the skills in the basic classes that you take at Chabot relate to the kind of career that Jack has had. And then secondly, he said something which is an interesting career path that may still be available to some of you to consider. And that is that he said his college was paid for or partially paid for by Safeway.
That's correct.
And is that still an available route?
It is.
Okay.
Safeway pays up to 80%.
Up to 80%. So that's an amazing facility, and in these tight times and when money is difficult and jobs are hard to come by, finding a job and being able to be consistent and follow a path like you followed is very, very helpful. Yes.
Catherine, I'd like to get back to the soft skills just for a minute, because
absolutely.
I need to tell everybody how I got to information technology.
Okay.
When I went to the IT department, I was not a technical person.
All right.
And the job that I have now, I was not a technical person. The vice president that selected me for this position told me that he needed me for my managerial skills, not my technical skills. It was dealing with people, knowing how to treat people, knowing how to communicate.
So that's really would be the hallmark skill as far as you're concerned.
It goes back to the basics and what your foundation needs to be based on what you want to do.
Okay, okay. One of the things I might ask you about, I think you're aware of the DECA program?
Yes.
Okay.
I am.
And that's a business club, and the students can find more information about that online under DECA at Spotlight on Chabot. And one of the things that students do there is they practice communication skills. That's what that's all about in different areas, in advertising, in marketing, and it's all collaborative and it's all teamwork. I can't remember, were you part of DECA when you were at Chabot? Okay.
I was not.
Okay. So, but that's something, do you think that that's something that would be helpful to the students to do as an extracurricular activity?
Yes, and I haven't been so involved with DECA here at Chabot, but DECA at the high schools.
Yes.
I've attended many of their events, and I also have been invited there to be a judge or an observer.
So a judge at the competitions, because what the students do at these events is they work on a project and then they present that to various judges, and that gives them an opportunity to meet a lot of people in the business world, people like Jack, and then also to hone their skills and just get used to doing that, which is, I think, a very important thing. Now, I know you've done a lot of active work to help Chabot. You serve on my business advisory committee, but I think both you and your wife have served on the foundation, have you not?
Yes.
Okay.
She's actually on the executive committee of the foundation,
Okay.
and I may as well be because of her involvement.
I see. Well, we're going to show on the screen a picture in a minute of you and your wife, and what is her name?
Tammy.
Tammy, and sitting next to a sign. Can you tell us where you are in this picture?
Sure. We are on an African safari, and sitting next to the sign shows that we're right on the equator, and this was in Kenya. We were just outside of the Mount Kenya Safari Club. We spent 3 weeks in Kenya and Tanzania on safari.
And I'm sure that was a wonderful experience.
It is. It's one of our passions is to travel, and we try to do trips like this often.
Oh, that's nice. And this other picture with the hats on, is that the same
Same
trip?
trip. And the fellow in the background, he was our guide during the 3 weeks.
During the 3 weeks. Okay.
I
And so
have to explain the roots that I have here at Chabot. It's
Okay.
not just because I started here, but more importantly, I met my wife here. So my wife is a Chabot graduate. We met in an economics class.
So there you go, a long-term romance story and a long-term career story. Jack, thank you so much for being with us
It was
today.
my pleasure, Catherine.
Thank you, and thank you for attending this session of Spotlight on Chabot.